Welcome back to episode 2, season 2 of Save the Pumpkins. I'm Amy.
This is Shane. You're gonna do the season 2. See, that's gonna make me have to, or episode 2. That's gonna make me have to make sure that when I upload them, I make sure this is episode 2.
I was not thinking, but
no, but that no, I don't care. Now that makes
track.
me, huh?
It'll keep you on track. We are getting older. The brain might
Tell
be
everybody how
slowing down
old we
a
are.
little
You can
bit.
just let it go.
So today we're going to talk about Home for Harvest.
2019. Oh man, we didn't say that. Fourth Down in Love, and the last one was 2023. We need to make sure we do that. 2019's Home for Harvest. Go ahead.
Okay.
Starring.
Is it Brigitte or Bridget Kingsley?
Oh, it's with an I. So
Brigitte.
Oh, let's go Bridget.
Plays Katie Taylor. Landy Cannon plays Noah. Elise or Alice Crocker plays Paige, and Troy Blundell plays Chad. Cory Lee plays Willa, and Dan.
I read the whole cast.
Karpinchuk plays Frank. Well, I'm just naming the
Principal characters. Yeah, I got you.
Prominent characters.
Well, these people, we talked about this, and I'm just going to put it out there, and I'm not going to say it because it's a family podcast.
Yes, do not say it.
These people are all in a lot of movies together, directed by this director, who is the husband of the star, Brigitte, what's her name? Kingsley? So I'm just saying, if you want some entertainment, head to IMDb, take a look at what Brigitte Kingsley has been in recently. That's all I'm going with. Don't say anymore.
We were going back and forth whether we were going to introduce this into our
No, I'm not going to bring anybody. I'm
season.
not going to say any more about it. Now, go ahead with what you want to say about this. Start your thirst.
So, Katie Taylor, the character, gets back from Italy, and we find that she is a journalist writing for a magazine.
Yep.
And in coming back from Italy, you get the impression that she's one that can't sit down or sit still for very long, because she's now saying she is hoping that her
next trip
is going to go to Bora Bora or the Maldives.
The magazine's going to send her Madeline. Magazine's going to send her to the Bora Bora. Yeah, that's what.
And Willa, the coworker, who I think is, would you say she's kind of like the little comic, gives a little bit of comic relief in
No,
this?
I don't even feel.
Or kind of gives her a little bit of
I want to shame this movie for not giving her more screen time.
Yes,
she looks funny.
She was very
She gets
good.
15 lines no, she doesn't get 15. She gets 5 lines in this movie, and she's she's one of the things that the movie needed. She seems like a Hallmark comic relief. By the way, this isn't a Hallmark. This isn't a Hallmark movie. This is a. I don't even know who made it. I'd have to. Go ahead. You keep going, and I'll find out who made this.
So, she's not granted the trip that she wants, and the magazine feels that there is a harvest festival that is being talked about, and it happens to be in her hometown of Greenville, where
that's
she
so
grew
rare.
up.
A harvest festival in one of these movies, right? Have you ever even heard of a harvest festival in one of the Hallmark movies?
I haven't. This is all new to me. So,
Yeah.
But she's, of course, disappointed and doesn't want to go back to her hometown, is what you're led to believe. And, dun dun dun, why doesn't she want to go back to her hometown?
Let's just let everybody pause for 2 seconds. Let everybody guess. Go ahead.
And so, they just try to portray her character as, of course, probably escaping life by wanting to travel to these, far off places.
Breaking news: Brigitte Kingsley is one of the producers.
Oh, interesting. Okay, makes sense.
I just go look it up on IMDb, the latest movie. Look at her history.
Okay,
go ahead.
You've already said that.
Go ahead.
So, her sister, brother-in-law, and niece lives there back in Greenville, and she reluctantly, of course, has to go. And so the plot begins when she bumps into a guy by the name of Noah,
Well,
on
wait,
this.
you just fast forwarded past a whole bunch of stuff.
You can fast forward past it because it's basically her just going home
I feel
to a
like
sister who she
perhaps you
hasn't gone
didn't
home.
care for this movie as much.
I will tell you in a little bit as to what my thoughts are.
Yeah.
We just need to get through the.
Oh no, I don't want to rush through it if it just
we're
because you don't
no,
like
we're
it.
not rushing. It's the hasn't seen the sister in forever.
Hasn't seen the people in the hometown. Yeah, she
and
left. Yeah.
she
Goes back. She sees his sister.
The coworker says because of the Harvest Festival,
Yeah, we want you to
there's
go.
no hotels available, so
Right.
I've called your sister and it's all arranged.
Don't leave that insight out.
You're gonna go stay with your sister, and so Frank, who
he plays the limousine driver, who's a role in every Hallmark movie ever made. The driver, the elderly driver, that's going to give you some words of wisdom.
Okay, well, what did I put in my notes? That Frank is her Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, that works.
And so Frank drops her off.
Did you really put that in your notes?
Yes.
That's really good.
Because that's how he comes across, as giving her these little.
There's been a limousine driver that has given ladies words of advice in a bunch of movies. It's a trope at this point.
And so,
Jiminy Cricket.
He brings her home, says, it's nice to see you. And now we're back to where I was with.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I interrupted.
She's on her way to go interview people for the article for the Harvest Festival.
Yeah.
And as she's on her way, she bumps into Noah.
She bumps into him.
Well, she would argue differently, wouldn't she? And in bumping into him, she spills her coffee on her shirt and is very upset.
How much does the shirt cost?
Because it's a $300
Yes, it
shirt.
does. It's so expensive.
And he says that it's her fault. Makes fun of the fact that it's a $300 shirt.
And then he laughs because what's the name brand of the shirt? You remember? It was a lady's. It was like Vera Wang, but it's not Vera Wang.
Right.
It's whatever's made up designer name in this made up
And
world.
she walks away basically arguing that it is his fault.
Whatever.
And then she interviews, the couple who are in love and have owned a restaurant, and she's had birthdays there.
Birthdays there.
And they remember her, and now we jump to we find that her ex-boyfriend, who she was not looking forward to seeing,
waiting for her at her sister's house.
And he works for the Greenville Herald, and she is apparently not over.
He looks like Troy Aikman and Biff, a cross between Troy Aikman and Biff from Back to the Future.
Yes, you said it.
Yeah.
There was something about him when I saw him.
Were you making fun of me? Were you
no,
laughing
and
at
I
what
couldn't
just
put
said?
my
You said
finger on it.
You said
A
that.
thinner version of Biff. Thinner. He's thinner.
Yeah, and his name's Chad, and he looks like a Chad. Like he looks like that.
I wonder if he's in real life.
Tom,
Biff's
what was his
son.
name? The guy that plays Biff. Yeah. He's really funny, stand-up comedian. No, don't.
But anyway, we find out that she's still a little perturbed with him.
Well, because when they were like 15, she worked in the school newspaper. He worked in the school newspaper, and he stole her story and got credit for it. And he realizes how wrong he was, and he just wants to catch up with her, and he brings her some flowers, and then they go.
Yeah, and she seems a little bit still miffed at him, but
you're not going to go to each scene in this. I know you're not, because you don't like this movie enough. So I'm going to point out the most hilariously ridiculous thing that this movie has going for it. One of the hilarious, ridiculous things. It's just scenes. There's no transition like, oh, let's go to this, let's go to that. She'll be like at her sister's house, and the next scene, she's walking along in a farm with Chad. And you're like, well, did she say, I'm going to go meet Chad? No. And then in the next one, she's walking along with Noah. Like, it's just a set of scenes. Go ahead. Sorry. She says that. Yeah.
I will challenge our viewers or listeners to watch this movie, and I want to point this out, and you tell me if you notice this.
Okay.
In all of those scenes that seem to just, break scene.
Yeah.
There is a constant birds chirping.
Oh, I did not notice
all
that.
of the scenes.
Well, now we're going to watch it again.
And it is, once that's in your brain,
Is
You
it the same? Do you know if they
cannot.
used like a little audio clip, the same thing?
Well, because one of the things that I did not like about this movie, and I mentioned it to you,
Yeah.
is I felt like their dialogue, something about the audio, was like they were, you know how
You
like
said their mics were like
no, like okay, when you're watching a cartoon movie,
yeah.
and the actors who do the voices, when you see the behind the scenes and they're kind of like in this box while they're recording it,
Yeah.
and they just have the script in front of them,
Yeah.
listening to them sounded like they were in a box. Like
Oh,
all the
really?
world was cut off. And then as the movie progressed, wherever scene, it was those birds just chirping.
Oh
Like,
my! Why did you not bring that up? That's hilarious.
it was a little bit like distracting to me.
Well, now I need to go back and see if it's a loop. If it's like the same birds, they didn't actually. They're just playing.
It was kind of like I was sitting
They didn't
there.
bother
It
to
was
make
kind of
them
like I was
different
sitting there
sounding
and I was
birds.
waiting, and then I go, there they are. And and then the next scene. So
So where do we go next? We go to the most Caucasian dance that has ever existed in the history of dancing.
right, and they
She
seem
goes to it
to
a little. He says, "I hope I'll see you at the bar dance or whatever tonight." And she goes to the little bar with him. This is Chad, by the way. That says this. Biff. He says, "Yeah." He says, "I hope I'll see you out there." Right. So then they show, like, I don't. Anybody that's paying attention to this, white people dance. When I say white people dance, you know what I'm talking about. The one dance we have. The, and that's the extras in the
now
background that are
give
dancing.
them a little bit of credit. It
No,
was
they have a little choreographed
yes,
number.
a
Says some
choreographed to an
stupid.
old song.
It's so not good. It's bad.
And they seem to put their difference aside.
But what happens?
But
who does she bump into?
then the guy that she bumped into earlier, Noah,
Yeah.
bumps into her again at the party, spilling a drink on her once again.
But what's this drink?
What is the
he even
drink?
says it. He says it. You can't be mad at me because he's like Canadian. I'm a bad Canadian accent. Oh, you can't be mad at me this time because it's only water.
Oh, yeah. See, I was probably looking for the birds. I didn't hear that part.
In the bar?
You never know.
Okay.
So then the next day.
Ooh, no, we just cut to a scene. There's no next day.
Yeah. Well,
it's just a scene.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know what day it is.
Well, I'm assuming that the bar
What's she
at
doing
the
the
party
next day?
is
Do
at
you know
night.
what she's doing?
Okay.
It cuts from the bar to this.
Oh, she's going to yoga or
She's in the
exercising.
middle of like by a lake doing yoga. Bar yoga.
Well, she finds out that the person she's supposed to be interviewing is Noah, and he runs a restaurant.
She runs into him because she's like, "Let's go in town and get something to." I don't know why I'm trying to do a lady's voice. Let's go into town and get something to eat. I'm starving. I'd really love to have some avocado toast. It's a
Right. So
delicacy.
well, she's in the city.
Country people have never
She's
heard
in
of
the city.
avocados, so we can understand why.
Well, okay. So avocado toast became very trendy, and usually the trendy things are
guess.
more, known
City,
in the
yeah.
bigger cities. And so
She runs into him. You're right.
he
yeah.
runs this restaurant,
He
farm
does.
to table. So sure.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Well, I don't think the name of the restaurant
Oh,
is
I thought
Farm
you
to
said.
Table.
I thought
No, he's big into farm to table.
farm to. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were calling the name of the restaurant. I was like, wow,
No.
that's a really good
And
detail.
he's like, of course, like let me make you some avocado toast. And
He's got a special way to make
I
it.
have never seen anybody more captivated by a slice of bread and avocado than they made this character be.
Then
like,
Katie, then what is Brigitte? What's her name? Is that
Yeah.
what you're talking about? Oh yeah.
Katie. She has one little niblet off of that bread.
Well, she's
and,
supposed to act like
and
it's the greatest avocado toast.
the little love googly eyes start, and
Well,
I'm
he
just
made her that special with a squeeze of lime.
yeah.
Lemon.
Well, I eat avocado toast, and I've never had that experience, but
You
must
never
make a
had.
pretty
You
good,
want someone that looks at you the way Brigitte Kingsley looks at her avocado toast.
It's a little bit of a cheesy moment there.
I don't know. Of all the moments. that
But
one-
we find that he grew up in a big city. They have this little dialogue.
Yeah.
He grew up in a big city, broke up with his girlfriend, and wanted to open his own restaurant away from the hustle and bustle. more farm to table. And she admits that she's the complete opposite. Small town girl wanting to break free into city life and traveling. But once she's had that avocado toast, that's it.
And then she's magically teleported from there to a pumpkin patch. Yay, the name of the podcast. Pumpkin patch. She's in a pumpkin patch with her sister for no reason.
Well, the niece,
It says nothing.
Right.
There and we get like 45 seconds of that, and she hands a guy her iPhone to take a picture of them in the pumpkin patch, and then they disappear. Then we're off to the next scene, which is her back in town to finish her interview with Noah, which Noah is like, she's like looking in the restaurant, beating on the door, and he's like, "Whoa, what are you here for, eh?" I don't know why, it's Canadian. What are you here for, eh? And she's like, "Oh, I just thought I'd come finish the interview." And clearly, she wants to get some more avocado toast. Who doesn't, right? And they go have ice cream together. That was a dramatic pause. They go have ice cream together because...
No, the ice cream was after.
No, the ice cream is the next day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, we don't have days, so I guess that's why.
There's no days. Yeah. They go and have ice cream, and I wrote this down in my notes. They go have ice cream and talk about nonsense.
Right. Birds chirping in the background. I do remember that.
Outside of the ice cream, they were eating ice cream. Yeah. He gets her to try different kinds of ice cream.
She tells him eventually that she feels very comfortable talking to him, opening up to him.
So I did say this, and I'm not going to talk anymore about what everyone that's listening to this should go look at on IMDb for Brigitte Kingsley. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But I did talk about this a little bit, and I'm just going to say it. It's a family podcast, but I'm going to say it anyway. This conversation with the ice cream is part of it. The acting is generally in this movie, I would say, even though I actually sort of am just weirdly entertained by it, and which is not going to go well with my next statement. I know. That's all right. The acting in this is generally terrible. It's bad. Like, can you think of a good actor in this? Somebody does a good job in this? Not a good actor. These people could all do wonderful things. I wouldn't know it. But in this movie, I can't think of a single performance that was any good. But I said this to you, so I need you to defend me so it doesn't sound like I'm a creep. It feels like, because the production value in this thing is super high. It's really good. Like the colors are wonderful. It looks like it was shot on... the cinematography is very good. I mean, the day-to-day shots are terrible because they're just scenes coming from one side of this pumpkin patch to the next, with Noah with his cardigan on, picking out a pumpkin, we'll get there, to make the right kind of pumpkin latte. Like, it's bad. But it feels like PG porn. I said that and you said yes.
Okay.
Like right when I said it. Don't lie. You said
okay.
Yes,
Well, can we
redirect
it to? It feels like this was somebody's first movie ever. How about that? Can we like?
Well, that has nothing to do.
No, I know, but I don't like you saying that.
Word?
No, I'm saying in this kind of setting. Try to imagine, if you will, somebody making a movie for the first time, and the actors read their script just like this.
Yes, which who else would do that?
Okay, well, I can't say
I don't
nay to that.
No, like bad actors is my point behind
okay,
that. People that are not doing a very good job.
Like it's like the words are on a cardboard in front of them, somebody's holding it, and they are looking at it and focusing on it and just talking word for word and ending
really
the
wooden.
sentence
the
like this.
Are wooden. They're terrible. Like,
and yeah, so I think the
there's a
videography is
wholesomeness to it
bad.
that's
I
weird.
think that it's just a very amateur way. So if she and her husband, real life, do other movies, I guess I need to see them because
maybe you don't.
I mean, maybe this
Maybe
is
you
their
don't.
first one.
I don't think it is.
Oh well,
I feel
okay.
like they've done more together. Let's
Listen,
carry on.
I don't go into these movies trying to pick apart the negative stuff. I honestly want to be entertained and be able to come into these sessions with bringing, fun and laughter and joy and
Sure, sure.
holiday, spirits, but they had no chemistry.
Oh, I don't know that they didn't have any
No,
chemistry. They were generally just bad performances they were giving. But I don't know.
no, I think if somebody's put in the right role, I think that they would do
Oh, you think so?
fantastic. I just don't think this was the right place for them. I don't think that the two of them together, I never believed that those two were sisters.
Oh, really?
Yes, I mean,
Oh, I thought that relationship was maybe a little bit better.
I felt like more like a coworker type
Oh,
of
okay.
relationship.
We didn't say. We have to say this. We learned that Katie left town back in the day, and her mother was sick at the time, and her sister Paige uh, became a nurse. She says she leads you to believe because she had to take care of her mother so much, it just kind of fit, right? And initially, Katie doesn't look to hold it. Paige doesn't look to hold it against Katie. She's like, you had to go out. Mom wouldn't have been happy if you'd stayed here. Blah blah blah, or whatever.
It's a typical journey, small town girl.
Yeah, sure.
Living
So
in a lonely world.
we got
and
it.
so she's got to break out.
What were you about to sing, Journey?
I mean, it fit.
Okay.
And so she has an inner conflict is where we get to
Go ahead and
because
go to your next scene. Or
well,
were you
so the
done?
next scene is that
You wanna know what it
she
is?
tells Noah that she feels very comfortable speaking with him.
Well, first she goes to a farm with a goat that she calls a majestic goat with Chad. Keep going. You can go now back to Noah's pumpkin patch
Okay,
thing.
so we need to hit the conflict here.
I don't know. I think
Because
it's fun
I
to talk
think
about
that we
bad
need
movies.
to leave a little bit for the viewers,
You
the
think so?
listeners to watch. Only
Majestic
because I feel like I have not criticized a movie as much as I have done on this one. And
Starting to feel the negative vibes wearing you down.
yeah, and I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
Ah.
So she talks to Noah and says she feels really comfortable. There's a scene where
really good
they're
cardigan
in the
on this
restaurant,
scene.
they're dancing, and Chad, the ex-boyfriend, is
Ooh.
peering in, and he doesn't look very
Chad
happy.
Marlikey.
So then he throws a wrench in their
What does he do?
relationship by presenting an article that he had written that contained quotes from Katie about what the small town living, I guess, in this Greenville area, negative quotes. And Noah, being that this is his environment now and this is where he's thriving, is felt kind of stabbed in the back, I guess you could say, by Katie, in that he wasn't getting the true Katie. He believed these negative quotes in the article.
Yeah,
And
he totally believed
he felt
whatever
betrayed.
whatever Chad said, like an idiot.
What an
Right.
article said, written, I think,
It wasn't
a
even
long time
right.
ago.
It wasn't even that though. Like he could have just. So it commits the cardinal hallmark sin that I can't guess. I don't suppose I could hold against it any more than I could anything. He just doesn't have a 10-second conversation. Say, "Do you feel this way?"
I know he switched his
Like a light.
yes.
She
like
even comes in the
that.
next day, mad flirtatious. Like she comes in the next day, wanting him to make some avocado toast for her. Like bad. No, I didn't mean that to have a dirty connotation. She comes in, she's like, "Hey, hey Noah, how are you?" Like she's like, maybe some avocado toast, right? And he's like, "Yes, everything's fine." He's like cleaning and he's acting like a brat, like someone that believed a dude that looks just like Biff from Back to the Future and is clearly a villain.
Yeah,
And he just believes him. It just adds to the. But go ahead.
Right. So then she, confronts Chad and calls him a liar. But she just feels now that things are not in her favor, and so she gets into a fight with her sister. Sister
And
brings
the
up the
sister's
past.
like, "Oh, well, you just bounce whenever something doesn't work for you, like you did with Mom." It's like, wait a minute, you didn't seem to have a problem with it a while ago, but okay, go
Right.
ahead.
So now Katie's heading back. She's, going back
I
and
just
getting
don't
out
wanna do
again.
this.
She's running again.
She's got her boots.
And we then get into the car with Frank, her Jiminy Cricket,
Yeah.
and kind of gives her that
There
father
he goes, well,
grandfather.
you never know what you're looking for until you find it. And once you found it, you realize it's where you've been looking for and the last place you found it all along. She's like,
And
you know what? You're right.
and so she goes back to the scene where it brings us, is building to a judging contest, and Noah's restaurant, him being
It's
the
it's the
owner,
pie
is
judging or no, the food judging
right.
contest. Yeah.
And so she comes back and she kind of storms in, like, I've got something to say, and
That was good. That was a good impression.
she takes the microphone from the judge,
the town person.
and
They're all like, we think we're tired of hearing what you have to say because they all believe the villain.
right,
They're all
article,
morons.
they've known
right.
her for all her years.
Yeah, I mean, I know she left the town or whatever, but just ask her, did you mean all this hateful crap? And she'll just say no.
And to be honest, we don't even know what it was that she said in the article.
No, they never tell us. Yeah.
It's just alluded that it was something negative.
I love the
about,
city. I can't wait to get back to the city. The small towns suck. Whatever.
This movie happens so quickly. Like you said, the changing of the scenes, and we go. It's like your head is like whipping around. Like, okay, wait, what? What's happening? What's going on? So she grabs the microphone and she apologizes, and the thing that had me laughing was the fact that in that speech, she then literally professes her love about how I'm in love with Noah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm sitting there putting my fingers up. Hold on a second. How many costume changes have we had in this movie that you're
How many pairs of boots have we
literally
gone through?
professing your love? Like, it's been 2 days, honey. It's been 2 days.
Yeah.
And
no, we don't know that because
been
she walks in from
upset
different
with
sides of
you.
the screen, and every time she walks in from a different side of the screen, it's been a different day. So there's been at least 25 days.
And you've been arguing or having some kind of argument 75% of the movie,
Pretty much.
and now you're in love. And I wasn't.
You know what it was, right?
It was the avocado toast.
It was the avocado toast.
He had her from the avocado toast.
Yeah, he did.
And I just wasn't believing it. And there's a level of cheesy, and then it's like, come on,
And then Chad's the villain, though. Because Chad's like, we don't want to. Nobody here wants to hear you. And then the lady from the diner, one of the elderly couples, like, I want to hear her. And then they let her talk, and Chad goes and hides in the background because he's the villain.
Right.
Yeah,
and
like
I was waiting for any minute for Frank to open up the Mary Poppins umbrella and fly away, because he was like her.
You find those things that push you and the things that pull you.
Or
and if it pulls you, then you know it's the right thing to do.
Or
and
the
if it
Santa
pushes
Claus.
Well, you don't want to fall off if you get pushed. It's terrible.
Or the Santa Claus at the end of the Christmas movies that we watch, where he kind of like does a wink or something or whatever, and then his sleigh flies away. He
just walks along the sidewalk and disappears and turns into a snow angel or whatever.
So the movie was all over the place. It was.
Yet I watched it with you last year, and we watched it again this year. And I want to watch it again next year.
Well, no, you have to watch it, and you got to remember the birds.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing I'll say about it. This movie is terrible. It's just terrible. But it's so fall-centric. There's so much yellow and orange, and she's obviously the majority of the budget went to her wardrobe and her boots and her, she's got
she got the jacket.
She
scarf,
walks around
she's
doing
got the
thing, right? And so there's something about it. She's pretty. She's real pretty. But there's something about it that's that the train wreck syndrome, right? You can't
take your eyes off of it.
You just can't take your eyes off of it because you're like, wow, these people are really terrible at what they do. But it's just so nice, and so I'm so unaffected by anything they said because I don't believe a word of it.
Right.
Not at
like
all.
When the movie was over, I wasn't better for it. I wasn't.
I felt a little more orange, a little more yellow, and then they're forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
But, we have to have these types of movies to show you that there are some out there that are better left unseen. But,
Well, no, these types of movies are the ones that are better left in.
right. But I'm
You said we
saying
have to have these kinds of movies to be better left to show
we
you that
have,
they're
like, to talk about, to say that they're better left unseen, even though,
Oh, that these are better left
right.
unseen. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even though we are still telling you that you should watch it just to see what we're saying.
Oh, I think everybody should watch this movie one time. They need to hear the birds. All right. That's good enough.
Okay.
You got anything else you want to say about this one?
No, just we just challenge you to watch it and let us know what you think of it. Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
We'll see you again.